My name is Madai Taylor, and I want to say thank you for having me here with you today.
Thank you. Where were you born?
I was born in Lake Village, Arkansas, a small town north of Little Rock, Arkansas in the Delta.
Did you go to college?
Yes, I did. I went to a college I graduated from a college that's in Chicago, Illinois, called the Ecumenical Institute of Chicago, Illinois. I went to Iowa Central for a while, and I also went to University in Storm Lake, Iowa, and I graduated with a degree in art and a degree in social work.
Why did you choose to live in Fort Dodge?
Why? I don't think I chose to live in Fort Dodge. I think God chose me to live in Fort Dodge because, again, out of all the places to live, I would have probably not chose Fort Dodge, but I believe that God put me here to do a work to help other people, and this is where He could best use me with my skills and my abilities, and not someplace else. So that's why I'm here.
Where do you work?
I work at Agape Church here in Fort Dodge, Iowa. I work as an artist. I have a show, as a matter of fact, that's being shown right now today at the Blandon Memorial Art Museum. And I work in my community. I work in my neighborhood a lot as an activist, trying to do things to make my neighborhood safer and make life better for a lot of people.
Are you now, or have you been in the past involved in your community?
I'm involved in my community very much. I consider myself an activist. And the biggest thing that concerns me is drugs and drug trafficking in our neighborhood and in our city. And so I have done things to provide young people with education about what drugs can do to them. We have a program that we do. It's called the 924 Network Early Intervention Program. It provides education to children about how to stay away from drugs and how to identify friends. I have marched on our streets in our neighborhood, I should say, against drugs, and I like to see people do well. So I like to be part of people's lives that help them grow, be better people.
What was it like growing up black or as African American?
What was it like growing up black? I guess at the time I didn't think about it as growing up as black, but what I discovered as I grew up, that I was black and that I was different because I was black. I was treated different. Where I come from, blacks or African Americans were second-class citizens. They were considered by the white people as inferior people, and a lot of times they were discriminated against, as well as sometimes they were killed because they were black.
Did you have to deal with segregation?
Yes, I did. In the South, it was segregation was very, very big. Of course, you know that. Well, in the South, segregation was a big thing. I remember that there were signs that were on the restaurants and the water fountains that said for blacks only, for whites only, and things like that. And black children and white children did not go to school together. Black children did not have the best books, the best schools. The black children got the books that were 4 and 5 years outdated, that was passed down to them from the white schools. and so stuff like that. So yes, segregation has been a part of my life, has affected my life.
What did Martin Luther King Jr. mean to you?
Dr. King, what did he mean to me? He meant a lot to me. He was a man of courage. He was a man of purpose. He was a man of character, moral character, and he was somebody that was very influential. And I just respected him as a person and admired him greatly for what he stood for as it relates to people, period, black and white people.
How has the civil rights movement changed you?
The civil rights movement, how did it change me? I think that the civil rights movement I have benefited from. I've benefited immensely from the civil rights movement in that some of the opportunities that has been afforded me, I could not have done it if it were not for the civil rights movement. So in that regards, the civil rights movement has opened doors for me and given me opportunities in that. And the other thing is that Dr. Martin Luther King is the first person that I can recall in memory that really meant a lot to me, and somebody that inspired me.
What did Barack Obama being elected mean to you?
Well, let me say that it didn't, when he got elected to the office of president, I didn't expect anything to drastically change for African Americans. So I want to say that first. But what it demonstrated to me is how far we have come as a people, as a country, because there was a time that no one would ever think that a black person could be a president. And we now see that 45, 46 years later, we have somebody in office that's an African American. And I think it all has to do with the civil rights movement.
What advice would you give to the youngs today?
To young people?
Yes.
One, to know that God is real. Two, to get a good education. Three, to dream big. And four, don't let people define you. Don't let your family define you. Don't let your neighborhood define you. You define yourself, and you pursue your dreams as a young person. That's what I would say.
Thank you for letting us interview you today.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for just letting me sit here with you and talk to you about anything that you had on your mind. So thank you.
Thank you.